Hey, Scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, Creative Memories Advisor, and here from Nicole's Scrapbooks. And I'm here with a deceptively simple layout. This one took me longer than looking at it I would have thought that it should have taken. But as always, by the end, I love it. I wasn't really sure. I started this one as no Pinterest, no sketch, no nothing, just the pictures that I had, the paper that I had. I was able to use up some scraps of paper. I was able to use some white space, literal white space on white, which is very unusual for me. I was able to bring back some flashback pen art from the 90s, and I love how it turned out. I had a lot of fun with this one and some good journaling. And actually, I realized as I was working on this time that this layout actually needs to go before last week's layout. So if you remember, I am not sticking my layouts down in the scrapbook yet. I'm just sliding them under the page protectors on the Jeep pages, which is why I've been working on wallpapering paper and not just right on my album pages. So this is actually going to be layout 67, and the last week's will move to 68, but I can't go back in time. So I hope that you will stay tuned to see how this came together. And I hope that you get some ideas and inspiration for your own albums from seeing how I worked through this layout for mine. All right, so here we go with our pictures. I showed you these ones this way. I love the look on her face when she's like, did I just miss the parade? So we just barely made it into the park. I think I've told you before that we tended to be late. Uh-oh, this is a different Festival of Fantasy. That's in a different spot. But I definitely want these three to kind of be my prime photos of, like, this is the story. And then, yeah, she's wearing a different shirt. That's from the other Festival of Fantasy. No, that was the not the Festival of Fantasy, but the Cavalcades. So that was weeks ago. All right, so I kind of want these to be my focus. And then maybe I want to do something like around. Now we did that last week though, right? We put the pictures in the middle and then did the things with the scrap paper. So I have two Tinkerbells. I think I want that one. Definitely want Mickey. It almost looks like he's like pointing at me. I might have been a little weepy when I saw that, but I like these because they're closer up. I think I like that one. Then we've got the Maleficent again. This is as it was coming in. A couple of the other, there's little Donald. A couple of the other little tiny floats. Pluto. Do something with these. Maybe I need a room for a lot of journaling. Like we came in and we saw the parade was going on. I can't remember where Maleficent is in the parade. Maybe we saw this stuff first. I think I could do just like some little squares up at the top. Oh, this wouldn't fit though. It would be really cool to do like some little squares across the top. I guess I could cut these down and then do like this right here and then these two at the bottom, and then have lots of room for journaling. Let me grab my little sizing templates. So that's the square punch. Here's the 4x4. I definitely can cut these down to 4x4 so that I have these four together. But then, is this too small? And I don't necessarily need to use the square punch because it's a little bit tricky to, it's kind of the same float, isn't it? A little bit tricky, it's all the same float, to get that one's, sorry, I'm not finishing my sentences. A little bit tricky to get the punch right where you want it, so I may just cut these. But it'd be fun to kind of get Pluto right there. and cut all these people out that, you know, I've said before, how dare other people go to Disney when I want to be there. I could just do Tink right here too, but I think I want them to be big down here at the bottom. And then we'll do some little squares. Maybe not all of these because a couple of them are the same. But if I did like, you know, maybe 3 squares up here at the top, and then I did 4, and I think I want to do, I don't know that I want it like centered like we had it last time. I'd kind of like to do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then these down here. I'll keep these at the, I could cut these down a little bit and make them like 5. These are probably 5 1/4. I could have some kind of a border right here and some kind of a border right here. What paper do I want to use? Do I want to use some theme park paper? The pink is going to be a dominant factor in all of our photos because we're wearing this pink today, but that doesn't mean I want to do every single layout in pink. Maybe I do want to use amusement park. I could use amusement park, I could use magical weights. You know, I got all those packs of different, not specific to any theme park papers. I also think I have the balloon and stars border punch. That could be kind of a cool one. A cool punch. I have the confetti, which is like the birthday punch. I mean, this was like the thing. The reason we went to the Magic Kingdom today was because of Festival of Fantasy. And last week, if you remember, I did the layout of us in front of the castle. But actually, that was after, because the castle's way back there. And this was right as we entered the park. I mean, this, if you're familiar with Disney at all, this is like the Emporium. So we're just barely coming in the gate. We just came under the train tracks for this part. So yeah, let's use something theme parky. I would love to use up some of my theme parky paper for Festival of Fantasy. Let me pull out some paper and see if I can find that punch. I know that I have it. The problem is, where did I put it? I have got so many punches now, and they are not, like, I don't know how to organize them. I'd love to know, if you have a bunch of punches, how do you organize them? Do you have like them by theme? I don't even know like where balloon and stars would go, because it was both of that one and the confetti were birthday themed. But let me pull all that out and see where we can go. Okay, that was actually quite easy. My confetti punch was right here over my shoulder, and the balloons and stars were right on the table next to me. I have the stamp and storage carousel, and just kind of some of my most used punches are right here, just out of camera range. And they were both right here. So I have both of these that I can use, which I think will go great with the parade. And then I have, this is Adventure Parks. This is our current paper pack. But I think I want to use, I don't know, for whatever reason, I would love to use some of the old stuff. And I think Imagine is our oldest, the oldest paper pack. It's the one I have the least papers of. So that might be a good one. Or Magical Weights came after that. Oh, got these fun borders in here. I actually have a whole bunch of pre-made layouts from Sparks of Magic. I got to find a way to use all these pre-made layouts or sell them. I don't know if there would be any interest if I were to like sell some of my old pre-made layouts. This was from a class I taught at a retreat. But let's see what we can figure out from here. I'm actually kind of liking the idea of like a white background. We've talked before about the concept of kind of white space, and I know that we, you know, when Creative Memories inherited some of the Close to My Heart advisors, they kind of have brought their style in, and it's fascinating to see how different the Close to My Heart style of scrapbooking is to the Creative Memories style of scrapbooking. But I like it. I mean, there are definitely things that appeal to me about it. All right. So one of the things I loved about this Magical Weights, I can't remember what year it was from. One trick I love is you can look at your Creative Memories products. This is from 02 of 20, so February of 2020. This is from the before times. But you can see with this one, oh, this didn't come with 2 of each. Oh, that makes it tricky, because I would need 2 of each to go across. Unless I did partial borders. Okay, I might be able to use some of this, but I don't know. And that's Magical Weights, which is not even necessarily what I want to use. Let's try with Imagine. I mean, I just have a few pieces left, blacks, and I like the hearts because we definitely were so happy to see the parade. And it's got some of the words. Oh, and look, a plaid. Some polka dots. What about these little squares? I got 2 of these. I don't think I want to put it on black though, because it was in the middle of the day. So apparently the hearts and the words, look, I got 3 of the words, so you know, and plaid, you know that that was my least favorite paper, because this is all I have left of full sheets of paper, are this handful of papers. I've got a few. I could do a border too down the side. Maybe I do a border and then build that thing. I got lots of little scraps. Oh, I kind of want to try it on white paper. I've been looking at Pinterest a lot. It's been so cold, y'all. I told you last time about my heated throw blanket my husband gave me for Christmas a couple years ago. It's magical. I have an electric blanket for my bed, but we took it off a couple winters ago, folded it up, and it's a pain to get that one out, but the little throw blanket is easy. Okay, let's start with, I'm going to use Imagine. So goodbye to Magical Weights layered borders. We'll use you another time, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, I'm sure. This is not my last Disney album, nor is this my last Magic Kingdom layout in this album. So let me pull out some. I'm going to use the bright white. And this is another thing that kind of came in with the Close to My Heart. This is a nice, really smooth paper. And this is our other white. And I've never had an issue with it, but I guess there are people who felt like it wasn't quite white enough. It's a little bit, there's a little bit of like a warmer white. So the bright white is just a little bit whiter. So I'm going to use that. All right, if you pick it up and move it, it has little scraps that could go flying. And then I'm going to cut down my photos. Oops, I had my camera arm resting on my tissue box, which I had put on top of my trimmer. But I'm going to cut this down. I don't want to do too far, but it needs to be 4 inches. So I'm going to leave Maleficent's head, and then we'll go to 4. Cut off a little bit of her shirt. And then I can cut this one. I could even leave that one whole, perhaps. And then these 2, again, we'll cut off the top what we can, and then the rest will be on the bottom. And then this, I love it so much. Did I just miss the flames? It was a very funny moment. And thankfully, Maleficent goes around the hub, the little circle in the front. That's not the hub, it's whatever that's called. And, you know, breathes fire again. But that's definitely one of the coolest parts of this parade. And I think one of the reasons we like it. And then these I'm going to do at 5 inches. I think I'll go down that way. So I got 5 and 4, which is 9, which easily gives me space to do a, which way? To do a 1.5 inch square with these. Maybe I'll start with a 2 inch square. And I'm not going to try and use the punch. We'll start with a 2 inch square. That makes 11 inches. I don't know that I'm going to use the full 2 inches. 2 inch. But look at that. I can just cut these little people out. I mean, I totally get why parents set their kids on their shoulders so that the kids can see, because they can't see either. These are both almost the same, Pinocchio and Pinocchio. I do love this one. The little kid is pointing. Look, Dad, there's Pinocchio, but he's not my kid, so I think it looks more like he's looking at the camera here. I think 2 inches is going to be too big for this guy. We'll definitely be trimming these down. If I do that, I could possibly use the square punch. And then that's also Pinocchio, so I don't need that. But these guys, I love the people on the swing. I do have the lamp post right there in my way. Kind of part of the lamp post. Oh, I don't like to crop my photos so that like there's that line on the side. I don't know why. It's just a personal preference. So I'm just gonna make sure I've cut the whole line off. I don't mind if the little globes are on, and then I'll do my 2 inches there. And this is gonna give me 4, and I don't really think I want 4 because I don't know why I don't want 4, but I don't. Right there. Feeling, grumpy and you just want to chop off people's heads, just pull out your photo trimmer and chop off people's heads. Okay. All right, let's pull these guys out. Sorry, I think my camera is a little bit crooked. I'm straight here. Let's fix that. Somebody commented on last week's video asking how I how I have my paper organized. And I told her, but I'll tell you, I have gotten the bug to totally redo my whole craft room. I've been thinking about it. I lived in this house for 14 years and I've been thinking about it since I moved in, but all the things I had been thinking of were super expensive and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But I think I have a plan that's not going to be quite as expensive. So we will see. I could crop these so they're not squares. Because then I could fit, have a little bit better spacing, but I could have these little guys up here. It doesn't give me room to do my borders in between, but I could, that's the same. This is the same. These 3. There's Pluto. I think I'll just do those 3. So what if I did like these 3 up here? I cut that to like a 3x4 and a 3x4, and maybe leave that one a 4x4. And I think I just didn't finish my sentence, but I have a new plan to redo my scrapbook room using a bunch of existing products that I already own. Michelle has just moved out. She's, as we speak, she and her dad are pulling a U-Haul out to Utah where she's moving. And I think I'll leave that one square. And so I have some furniture that I can rearrange. And I'm thinking about doing that. Okay, that's interesting because I didn't want them to line up. That was kind of my whole point, was that I didn't want these to be like lined up with each other. I guess I could do it like that. And maybe I need to cut another 1/2 inch off of these. Wonder if I could cut a whole inch and make these 4 inches. Anyway, at some point in the next probably couple of months, just because it's going to take me a while, my plan is to do the whole KonMari thing and pull everything from my scrapbook room, which my husband said when we moved in, this scrapbook room was the perfect size for me 14 years ago. But, I wish I could say I haven't bought anything in 14 years, but I'm sure you guys know better than that. So as I've kept bringing stuff in, it's getting overwhelming, which is why I'm never going to show it to you right now. But I have a plan and I'm super excited about it. So I have no idea how I got on that subject, but I have a plan to declutter my scrapbook room. All right, so now I've got this, and what do I want to do with those punches? I could do like a stripe of this one, and then the balloons kind of here and here, and then maybe something else at the top. Maybe I use the pieces of the confetti up there, just from here to here. I mean, I would say I could use one of those borders, but I don't necessarily need to use one of those borders. I think if I do this, I'm going to need to piece it and have different colors like red, black, and gold balloons. And maybe I just start the balloons from here to here. I think I want the confetti. And I just do from here to here. And then I do the balloons from there to there. Okay. In any case, I need to punch them. And I am thinking now, I'm looking at these papers or the shirt, and like, I want to use that. I want to use this Disney paper. I'm going to use the Disney paper. Sorry, it is not specific to any brand of theme park. I think I'm going to actually, now that I'm looking at this, maybe I'll cut a stripe of the hearts. I think I can cut it so that I get 2 rows of hearts on here. Let's see, 1 inch. Oh yeah, look, if I put it right at 1 inch, this comes right in between the hearts right there. Oh, perfection. And then I'll do another one right at 1 inch. Oh, I love it when they do this to make it so easy to measure and have the things I need. So then I've got the little cameras. Oh, I might want to use some of that, but I don't know yet. And then, not plaid, polka dots. Maybe I'll punch the balloons from the polka dots. Do I have any yellow? Oh, there's just not much left. I know it has yellow in it. If I only need to do like a part on this side and a part on that side, I might be able to punch something with the yellow. Maybe the confetti, or maybe I do black. This one with the confetti, and then I could punch extras of these and fill in the gaps. I like to do that too. Okay. Let's do the balloons first. This is going to give me 3. Oh, that's cute paper too. This is going to give me the 3 colors that I need. I don't know if I'm going to need 2 of these or just 1. I think for now I'm just going to punch 1. And then I'm going to punch with the border. All right, I shouldn't have done that. Let me clean this up. I do know lots of people that use the scrap and easel, so they set their page up so that they have a clean workspace, and that would probably be a good thing for me, but I just work on top of whatever I'm working on. You guys know that about me. So we're going to do one of these. And I'm beginning to think I need a little border, but maybe I'll do the pen like I did last week. I don't know. I don't want to use the exact same techniques every time. I want to mix it up. So I've learned that 1 1/8 is the magic measurement for this, so that your design is centered. All right. I do have the plaid on the back if I want to use it for something. Maybe I do. Maybe I do something at the bottom. And I don't think I'm going to need these little confettis, but just in case. grab my little, I don't know what this is called, little trinket tray to keep my scraps on. So do I just leave these guys on here on the white? So not me to do white. Oh, I was going to trim these down a little bit, wasn't I? I lost one of my, oh, here. Yeah, one of these little 3 guys right here. Maybe I cut this one down 1/4 of an inch and then I can mat it at 4 inches so it's still the same height when I go across, but it draws attention to this one. I want your attention to come to this one and that look on her face of, did I just miss Maleficent breathing fire? So if I do this kind of like here, and this kind of here, maybe I, line it up so that it matches with the edge of my paper. This definitely needs to be a little bit shorter. I don't know, what are we thinking about the white background, guys? It's very different for me. Maybe this needs to be in a square, but I did that last week. I don't want to do the same thing every week. Although I guess, on the other hand, there's nothing wrong with your album pages having some continuity, right? So that's 5.5. Take a little bit more of this off the bottom, but I think I want 4.5. Sorry, I want it to be that way. I'll have to take, oh, I don't want to take the, I want to keep the hot air balloon. So that'll be all right. Oh, this one. Might be that one. All right, I've got these hearts that I cut. I've got the snapshot that I cut. So I'm not hating this. It's definitely going to need something around the edges. I could use the Rick Rack Border Maker cartridge around the edges, because I've used that several other layouts in this album series. I'm trying to not have things line up, right? So I don't want these to line up. I mean, horizontally I want them to line up, but vertically I like to break the line. I feel like that's more visually interesting, but if I do that, then I can't do this. So I might have to go a little farther this way. That's awfully close to lining up, though. Well, I feel like if I'm not going to line it up, you have to really know that I'm not lining it up on purpose. I mean, I can always cut another one of these if I need to, these borders. But is that enough, or do I need something here, like this little section? I mean, I guess I'm going to journal about what happened, and I need to do a title. Welcome back, Festival of Fantasy. I'm liking this. I'm going to trim these so they end here. And I think I am going to cut this down so that I can mat it with this red. Oh, I got this red and black. I think I'll do that. So I got to cut. Do I want a 1/2 inch border I don't want to have to cut a half inch. I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch off of this way. So 3 3/4, and this way 3 3/4. I did have one more person recently cut their finger with the new trimmer. I felt bad. I don't know if it's someone that I had given the safety briefing to, or maybe it's someone that's watched me keep picking it up by the handle. If I'm going to journal here, I might need to do something here as well. It goes longer that way. I mean, I guess I could line these up and put just a little piece of that in here, that yellow in here. Let's start with sticking the photos down. And I want them to be about like a 1/2 inch. It looks about a 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom. And I think I better start with this one. Map this on there. No, I want the polka dots. Just a little hint of a border with that 1/8 of an inch. A hair taller. This no, I'd have to trim these. I don't want to do that. So these have to come in about right there. I really am liking this thing. I know that people were worried about it being too heavy, too bulky, not fitting comfortably in their hand. I really think it's very well designed, and it's a lot lighter than you think it might be. If you've used other kind of, big tape dispensers, I know that I've used the ATG gun, and it's a lot heavier. The ATG gun is a lot heavier. All right, I think I'm going to scoot this up a little bit because I like my gaps to be consistent. I think that goes back to my years on the high school yearbook staff, is that we always learned that the spacing between our pictures needed to be consistent. So I don't like it if some of my spaces are 1/8 of an inch and some of them are a 1/2 an inch. It annoys me. So yeah, if you're noticing, I do have bruises on both of my hands. I had a routine medical procedure last week, and they took them 5 tries to stick me. There's another one right here. Isn't that beautiful? So, yeah, 5 tries to get the IV in. But it was good because it let me sleep through my procedure, which is what I wanted. Hooray for anesthesia. Alrighty. Kind of having second thoughts about ending this right here, but I almost feel like I need to. Otherwise, I feel like it's just a little bit too random. And I know that hopefully when I get my my scrapbook room rearranged, I'll be able to get some lighting that's not quite as right. I mean, I need the direct lighting so I can see, but hopefully I can get it so that it's angled better so that it doesn't leave a glare right on the pictures. All right, so all the pictures are down. Oh, I was going to cut other pieces. I was going to piece this thing. Do I need that and this like that? Or do I want this in the middle? Or do I want another piece of that down here instead of... I kind of like having the... I think I'll do the hearts right there. And then this one at the bottom. But I need to punch some black and some yellow. I'm going to do the stars yellow. I've got this. What else have I got? This is the one I should have done use the scraps layout for. Boy, do I have a lot of them. Maybe that'll be a future week. I'll have that. Oh, look, some journal boxes. I could use a journal box right there, except that it's 4.5. Low. Oh, there's some other hearts too. I like those guys. That is the hardest thing for me. And I told you I don't save little tiny scraps, but for this one, for whatever reason, I did save little tiny scraps. Here's the yellow. Oh, it's a matte. I don't think I want yellow stripes. No, these are all the mattes, so they need to be separate anyway. They're just a lot thicker than the papers. And I'm not finding any yellow. Maybe I need to use cardstock yellow. I mean, I like this one, but I do kind of want it for my journal box. Stripe. Oh, look, here's some more. Okay, maybe I have enough that I can punch what I need to get some yellow stars and some black balloons, I think. Maybe I'll use this stripe. And in fact, because this polka dot is the same as that polka dot, I think I'm going to use this polka dot for the stars. I'm going to use the big one. And I'm going to need to do, I think, 3. And because of where this ended, okay, I got both stars, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll do this one right here. And then it's going to be tricky. So I'm going to show you my little trick about what to do when your paper is too small to fit in your border punch. I mean, you could still put it in. And so like this one, I know I just need to have the star. So as long as I cover up the star right there, I can go in both directions. I don't know if I get a star on that end. I do. And then I was going to show you the trick with the Post-it note, but we'll save that one for another time. But you can just stick a Post-it note on here and extend the spacing of your punch. All right, and then I'm going to do the little balloons in black stripe. I don't really want, I kind of want the stripe to go that way, and I don't know how to make it do that. So we'll just try. And actually, well, let's say there's probably a way that I could piece this so that I don't have to waste all the rest of the stars and balloons, but I don't know what that is. Of course, I just did it halfway. 1, 2, oh, I got 2. So this time I'm going to start by covering up the balloon on this side. So I'm not lining it up with the things. I want to make sure that I get the balloons. I don't need the full length border. I'm just trying to get the little, oh, that's perfect. Just the little small balloons. I'm still gonna need one more because of how I cut that one. So like I can see right here, if I cover up this balloon, then I know that when I come back and punch it, it's gonna have to I mean, it's gonna, that balloon is gonna have to be on there. So now I've got one extra of the little black balloons. And hopefully this stripe's all right. I've never seen a black stripe balloon that the stripes go sideways, but heck, it's Disney, it's magical. All right, so then this is going to require a little bit of fussy cutting to get those pieces. Oh boy. Again, probably if I would punch not on my work surface, I'd be happier, but... And I've talked before about how I like to put like a scrap paper to catch all this extra confetti, and I didn't even do it. All right, so let's just take, this is our border. I'll put it on here. Uh-oh. This way, right? That's what we're doing. Because you have to line it up. Because if I do it the other way, these guys aren't going to line up. They don't, you know, definitely don't want that stripe on the back. So we'll take the little black balloons and just fussy cut. One. I think I need 5. I think when you use the border punch, you get 5, which means I punched 1 too many rows. You get 5 like repeats of your design, and when you use a border maker, you get 6. It's going to be very, very same, but that's okay. And actually not quite as much red because I'm covering up so much of it with other colors. So I'm really excited. This weekend I have a Mom and Me crop where I have a bunch of moms and grandmas or grandmas. Uh-oh, I did it the same way. So I'm going to have stars with polka dots coming, and we're going to do, because we had snow down here in Alabama, we're going to do some snow layouts. We're going to do some 8x8 stuff, and we're going to do a border and some 8x8 pages, and it's going to be really fun. All right, so I'm trying to kind of match the edges that are on these stars. So I'm not just snipping it like I did for the balloons. I was trying to cut the balloon round, but for this, I'm trying to cut the stars and make a little rounded point like the, because I'll overlap some, like the other points of the star have that kind of that rounded point. So it takes a little bit more than if I could just come through and snip, but it's not that much harder, and I just think it makes it look a little bit nicer. Although I am, like I say, I'm going to stagger some of them so that some of them will be under and some of them will be over. I don't want the balloons to be more toward the front and the stars more to the back, so I could probably get away with not doing this little step. There. I really did mean to punch it the other direction so that I had the little polka dots, but now that I'm looking at them, I don't know that I would have liked that. So maybe that was my subconscious saying, no, you don't want little white polka dots on your stars. That one I cut funny, so let's make sure that's an underneath piece. So some people really don't like fussy cutting. Other people don't mind it. I don't want to do a ton of it. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't do as much with the recipe templates. One of my very first videos I ever did on YouTube was about how to use the recipe templates. And I had created that early on in COVID. It's like from April of 2020. It was one of my very first. The production values are terrible. The lighting was bad. You could see my camera tripod in the shot. I messed up. I didn't know how to edit out the parts where I messed up. And it's still one of my most viewed videos, but I keep thinking I should redo it with better, I've learned more, but I've also found that I'm not using the recipe templates. And when I do use them, I love how it turns out, but I just, it's time consuming and I don't love that part. So, okay. So now we're just going to put these on. That's the one I cut funny. So we'll put that so that this hides. And I'm just putting them like exactly so that I don't know if I want the stars to all go behind the balloons. These are going to go on top. So maybe, yes, I do. I want the stars to go behind. So I'm going to put all the stars down first and then I'll put the little balloons down. And I could come back and cut that edge. Well, I'll do that once I get all these stuck down. I think I'm going to come back and cut the edge on a couple of them so that it looks like the red balloon is on top of that star. I can kind of tell the ones I cut because they're not quite where they need to be. But luckily, I want to cover those up anyway. So I probably could have just cut it straight, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. And then I'm going to cut this again, so it's, because it's going to go across 2 pages, which is a technique I really like, actually, where you can just use one border. So what I was saying, how I cut around for this one, if I want to, I could just cut. Well, I want this one to go. I don't know what I want. So I could have just cut the same, just like cut out the balloons and not worried about the point of the star, so then when I stick this down, I'm not going to have to trim it, and then it's going to look like the red balloon is on the top. Okay. So you see that one right there, because of the way I cut it, then it looks like the red balloon is overlapping, whereas this one, the star goes on top. So I'm just going to take my little precision point, or they're not called that, microtip. I don't like that quite as well as if I would have just cut it the right way when I started. But I want the red balloons to look like they are on the top. Yeah, it would have been better if I would have cut it that way. If we can finagle this over a little bit. Here we go. All right. So there, I think that looks better to have the multiple colors of that piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this down. I'll use a little bit of regular in the big pieces and some repo in the small ones. Put this right. So I'm going to line that, use that same margin right there and right there so that I know that, oh look, it's going to cut right there on that star. Perfect. The one that I wasn't real thrilled with. Okay, so that goes right there, and then I'm going to cut that little piece off. And then this needs to go from here. Oh, maybe now I'm wishing I would have left that and not, because it's just straight. I could have tucked it under. But I think what I'll do is this one right here. We'll cut this. Have it end on the little star. So I've been on this YouTube kick where I've started watching like the best Broadway solos of all time, the best opening numbers, the best Broadway numbers, songs that brought us to tears or whatever. And for whatever reason, I've got the song "The Man of La Mancha" is going through my head right now. So if you're familiar with that song, my apologies, because I maybe have just put it in your head. But okay, but now this one, because I did it that way, this one just kind of is floating, whereas that one went off the edge. Maybe I want to have a little piece right there that connects. Well, I'm going to leave it because I was going to put this on top anyway. Oh, I like that this has the the little, one of these has a little circle on it. I can actually feel my scissor blade just right down the middle. Oh, it wasn't straight. Darn it. Just showing off to say, oh, I can feel how I'm going right down the middle of the seam. I'm going to leave a little extra on that edge, going off the edge, so that I can cut it where I didn't make it straight. Because when I put this in my scrapbook, of course, it's going to be, there's going to be the gap between the pages. That does not look straight to me. Does that look straight to you? But I wanted it to end right here. No, I don't know if that's straight. All right, we're going to go into the trimmer. Actually, what I'll do is I'll even up both sides. Just barely with this one. And just barely with this one. Yeah, it was straight-ish. And apparently it's not Man of La Mancha that's in my head. It's The Impossible Dream. To dream the impossible dream. Ugh. Okay, so this one I'm going to do the same thing with these. Oh, do I want that in the middle? I think I do. After all that, move this guy up to the top. And this one I used Repo, but I didn't have to, because you really do have some grace period with the permanent adhesive. This one I used a mixture. It's coming off fine. This this bright white paper is actually really nice, very smooth, and the adhesive releases very easily. And you can see that one is still a little bit, that edge is a little bit crooked. I think what I'm going to do actually right here is line up the edge of the hearts with the edge of this picture. And then we're going to come off the edge right here, and I will just trim these little guys. I actually like my regular scissors for that better. I just have them hanging on these little magnetic hooks. I have my little drawer that I keep my pens in is metal, and I just have my scissors hanging right there. It's super easy. And then this time I'll put this down. I think I'm going to have this touching the edge. So this will be a little bit shorter, but then I won't feel as awkward about this part not touching the edge. Okay, that one, this is the piece that needs to be straight, that has this straight edge right here. All right, and then we'll do this one. This side says smile. Maybe I'll leave that one right here. I end up with a little bit extra, so I think what I'm going to do is right here, because what I want is for this one that says moments to be right there. So I'm going to even that edge off. So it says smile right there. I want to line it up with this top piece. So I'm just going to take this piece of photo mat line it with the edge of the picture and the edge of the so it looks straight. And I do always flip it over and trim these off from the back, because that way I can align it up with the edge of the paper. I just find it easier to do it from that direction. And then this little side that said moments, to cut a smidge off here. All right, but what am I doing around the outside? Can I bear to leave it white, or should I just do some pen art? When I very first started scrapbooking, I remember going to my going to my first Creative Memories consultant's house to crop. And she would give us these handouts that were, you know, like Xerox copied things. I probably still have them, actually. I've got a filing cabinet here in my craft room, and I bet they're all still in there. All right, what do I want to do with this one? But we would totally do the pen art, you know, around our pages. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to punch some more pieces with this. And I just need the confetti. I don't necessarily need all of it. I just want some stars and some squiggles. And I want to make sure that the top is the color that I want. So I'm punching, what I see right here now is the underneath, the bottom. And then I'm glad that I have these pieces so I can get some of these colors. I might leave some white, but I might not. I had I punched 6 times. If I need to, I can punch out of another scrap of something, like the red paper that I cut that I punched the balloons out of. I know I got more of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the repositionable adhesive. So those are the black ones that I punched out. I don't really want to I don't want to mix those up. So I'm going to put the others on this side, and I might need some, like what's that sticky tool, the lifter stick? That might be helpful for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my repositionable tape, kind of just right here, and I'm going to basically coat the whole background. So you know, I've talked about before how I don't always like repositionable tape because I waste so much of it. Yeah, this is when I want to do that. So, and then I'm going to stick this down so it's exactly where I want it. And what that's done, I gave more than I needed to in that direction. Let's see if I have my little lifter stick. All right, I don't, but I found my little tweezers. And so I can then take these little pieces, and there's adhesive on the paper. So when I stick this down, oh, the lifter stick would have been better. I wonder where I put it. I broke some fingernails last week, and so now my fingernails are all short. I can't pick things up like I used to. See, and I'll just piece all these little pieces in. I don't think this is the red piece that I meant to punch out. I think I want a little yellow star. Oh, I don't. I think I want a red star. All right, where's that red? This is the red that I punched, and I want it to be this way. And you can see I'm not using the positioner because I don't care about that. I just want the little punch outs. And of course, it might have been smarter for me to punch it with the guide, because then I could always use this for something else, but too late, I didn't. All right, so I'm trying to not have it all be like red, 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 yellow, yellow, yellow. So, all right, the tweezers are not really working for me. Oh, that's the big one. So I want the yellow one to be the big one, not the little red. I'll take the little red piece. I don't know why this is giving me the back is the red and black polka dot. That's not what I meant to punch it from. But it's working okay. Then I'm just going to piece in all of these. I think I did this one of the Animal Kingdom pages, didn't I? Where we pieced in the punch confetti that was the extra. I filled in the gap, and you can also put paper behind it. Oh, this is a small one. You can put paper behind it to give that same effect of coloring in the space. But I like I don't know, there's something I like about filling in the little gaps. This one I want to be red. It would be easier if I had more colors to choose from instead of just the red, yellow, and black. But I don't really want to leave white. All right, I'm probably gonna have to punch some more of the red at least, maybe the yellow too. But all right, so now I've got this all down. I'll rub off the excess. I did too much. I love that about the repo. You can just rub off that excess. But now I know this whole piece behind this is all, woven, rubbed down, or, stuck down, and just what I need it to be. So, and then I'll just trim my little end. All right, so now I'm gonna do that on the other side, and I don't think I will make you watch that. And I'm going to line it up with this edge of the picture so it ends right there. Oh, unless I was gonna do a mat. But I think even if I do the journal mat, I want it to be like kind of by itself. I don't think I want it to have that border on there. So, that would have been upside down. I'll do it that way. But I'll snip through this part. I won't make you watch that whole tedious piecing. Hopefully this time I can use a little less adhesive. But I won't make you watch that. I'll just do this part right here and go this way. Oh, it just hurts me to use this much adhesive. But for this purpose, I want to have a good base underneath my little piece that I'm sticking down. And I didn't have nearly as much off the top, so obviously I did all right. This part right here is gonna be a little bit tricky because I don't have a whole star right there, so I may end up using a little bit of precision point adhesive for those two little pieces. But yeah, so let me do this, and then I will, well, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to snip this part out, and so in just a minute, magically, this is going to be done. All right, so I got this part done. I like how it turned out. I did use some of this for some reason. I don't know how I managed to punch it out of there. So I have some that's got the polka dots, the black polka dots, and I got one right there. So I guess it ties it together. And because of the way I cut it, it doesn't line up right here in the middle. But like I say, there's going to be a gap in the jeeping when I put it in my album. So now it definitely needs something around the edges. And last week I did little swirlies, but I think this time I'm just going to do a straight kind of a line. You know, it's just fun. It's funny to me that this whole, the pen thing, I mean, I literally was the 90s that I started doing this. I'm just going to oh, actually I'll put it on my grid. I'm not going to measure, but I'm just going to kind of go, not trying to keep it straight, which is good, but just give it a little bit of a line, and I might go back and do some dots. I'm just kind of sliding my hand down. I might even go back and do a second line that kind of crisscrosses around. But I definitely think it needs some dots, but I don't know if you can see that, but I think it makes a big difference just to have that little line. So let's do a second line. Close that one up. Oh yeah. I don't want to overlap it too much. I want it to be, you know, kind of parallel-esque. But I definitely think I'm going to come back and do some dots. And then this will just kind of help me. Actually, I'll do it this way and just kind of put a little dot right here and right here, so that when I do these lines, they're, you know, they will line up. Apparently I cannot talk and draw lines at the same time, so you guys get a little respite from my stream of consciousness. Part of me wishes I had the balloons to go right here. Nope, they would be too big. So we're not going to do it. And then I'm going to journal, and I don't think I want to journal right on the page. Although I could. That might be a good just to journal on the page, and then Return of Festival of Fantasy. Oh, now I wish I had some script letters. We have some script letters. I don't know why. To me, Festival of Fantasy needs to be in some fancy cursive-y font. If I journal right on the page and I mess up, I can cover it up with a journal box. But I think I'm just going to write over here we knew that the Festival of Fantasy Parade, this was the first day of the Festival of Fantasy Parade. Whatever day this was, I'm going to have to figure out the date. Friday was the Friday of our trip. Was our favorite daytime parade. Not that there's that many choices of daytime parades at Disney, but and then over here I'm going to journal about, you know, we arrived there they do the parade twice. We arrived just in time for it to see it coming around, and so we got just in time to get a couple of photos, and Michelle posed with Maleficent. But then, you know, we were taking the picture, Maleficent breathed fire, and she turned around and said, "Did I just miss the fire?" And yeah, okay. So I'm going to journal that. And then actually, I think maybe I want to journal in red because I've got a lot of black, but I've got this red pen, and I'm going to journal in red. And then we'll be back and finish out. I think I still do need a few little embellishments. But thankfully I've got a bunch of embellishments with all these theme park related collections. So I'll be back. All right, so I did my journaling. There had not been an afternoon parade at the Magic Kingdom since it closed due to COVID-19. We were so excited to be at Disney when the Festival of Fantasy Parade returned. Luckily, they do it twice a day because our stay up late and sleep in style of travel meant we got to the park as the first parade was ending. As soon as we came through the train station, the end of the parade was already going through town square. We had Michelle pose for a quick, well-timed photo. Then she said, "Did I just miss the fire?" She had, but luckily Maleficent gave us one more fiery show as she went around the corner. So hopefully that kind of tells the story. And now I need a title. And I think I kind of want to say welcome back. I don't know if I want to handwrite that I almost never handwrite titles because I don't like, I don't know. I don't mind my handwriting, but I don't like the pressure of that. I think I want to write Festival of Fantasy here in black, maybe in red. I think the red is wrong. I think the red is a little bit more orange. So I think I want to do black. And then I can do Welcome Back in the small letters and Festival of Fantasy in the big letters, I hope. I'm going to need to position it on my ruler. So let me see if I can make that work. All right, so here's my Festival of Fantasy, which I was kind of hoping to fit right onto this little section, and it doesn't look like it's going to fit. It's, you know, too long, but that's okay. I can maybe make it a little bit, squish it together a little bit more. It's going to go off the edge. I'll just have to put some kind of embellishment here. And I would ordinarily use the ruler to help me position it, but because I have this straight line right here, I think I'm just going to eyeball it and kind of give me that same eighth of an inch gap from this base. Probably go that way a smidge more. But I do love using the ruler so that I know it's going to fit on my layout before I start sticking it down. Because once you start, you know, once you stick it down, that one's crooked. It's a little bit harder to adjust it. Maybe that one's crooked. Apparently I need to do it straight up and down and not on the side. So I'll stick these down and then be back. All right, now that I've got this written down, I don't know that I want to use the black sticker letters. I think I'm going to be brave and use that red pen and just write Welcome Back, Festival of Fantasy. Oh, it's a little scary, but I'm going to try it. I wish I had a regular pen. Let me dig through my pen drawer. I think I've showed you guys my pen drawer before, right? Let me dig through and see if I can find the red that's not the dot tip, so that I have the round tip on the other side. All right, I found the red pen. I also found this cap lying in this bin. So I had to search for a minute, found the microchip pen, and I wrote with it, and it was a little dry for a second, but it's still right. So hopefully I didn't ruin it by somehow letting the cap fall off. Snap that back on. So the black barrels are the dual tip pens, and the silver barrels are the round tip dot pens. Sorry, not round tip, they're called dot. I'll slide my little drawer back in, and then I'm going to write Welcome Back with this round tip, and I'm going to practice it first. Just to see. How I feel about that. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I can write a little bit bigger. All right, so Welcome Back, Festival of Fantasy. After I just said I don't want to handwrite my titles, but I wanted it red, and I think because I have so much journaling in my own handwriting that it's okay. I am not one who says you have to handwrite all your journaling. It's okay if you want to do it on your computer, if you don't like your handwriting, but write some things, you know, the occasional caption, the occasional little note. Give your loved ones some kind of scraps of your handwriting to have to remember you by someday. All right, and now I'm going to pull back out my folder and see what kind of stickers or embellishments or whatever I still have. If anything. All of these little tiny pieces that are left. I'm going to put all the paper back in first, actually. All right, there's something so fulfilling about using up all of a pack of paper and getting to free up your folder for something new. So hopefully we can do something. Let's see what's left. Not much at all. Got this one that says live for the moments, rides, games, a couple of bows, and that is it from Imagine. There was not really anything in the mats. This is before they started doing more of the titles on the mats. Sign here, yeah. Not any of that. So the nice thing is that these colors match all of our, you know, the black and the red, this, you know, not specific to any brand of theme park. I think I also have the digital content, so I could maybe print some of these things out. But yeah, I don't need a boat. Anybody need a Disney cruise sticker? I don't need a globe, and I don't need, I kind of like that live for the moment you can't put into words. That could maybe go right there. And then I've got like the little bow, but that doesn't, I need some of these hearts that I've already used. So let's pull out the other Adventure Parks. How about Adventure Parks? What do we got in Adventure Parks? It's got blue. Worth the wait, maybe. All Hail the Monorail, that's kind of funny. Happiness Starts Here, but these have blue in them. Star, Dream, Photo Op, Heart. I got that heart. I don't know. Look Who It Is. I could put that on Mickey right here. I really want to use this monorail sticker, but this hadn't come out yet when I started this project, when I did the monorail page, so I'll have to ride the monorail again. Okay, I don't think this is going to work for me. And apparently I don't have any of the things from Magic Awaits. I've got this little piece right here, which is from those other laser borders. That could kind of work, these two little pieces. Look at that. Got these tiny little pieces. I could put that one up there. And wherever that other piece is that I just had in my hand, that one down here, that actually kind of works. Even though this is from a separate collection. It's a little bit bigger. This one's a little bit shorter. These are those layered borders that I pulled out before. I kind of like that. That's a little tall for there. I need something right here. Where's that? I had that heart. I guess I could just punch out a heart. Or maybe this is enough. Maybe I put a balloon. I feel like I need something right here. Maybe I don't. Maybe I need to just sit here and look at it for a minute. Oh, and maybe it would help if I kept it all on the screen so you guys could see the whole thing and not just get cut off. I think I like this. I think this is gonna work. Right here, but then I need something right here, but could it just be a balloon? I don't think I need anything else down here. There's lots going on right here, but I've got this empty space right here. I have this little piece that was left over. Maybe I could use to reposition this because it's not very straight. I'll cut this little pieces off, specks off the edge. think if I punch out another of this one and kind of put it behind, maybe I'll put some little strings coming down. But then if I do that, I also feel like I need something else right here. But I think I'm still going to leave these pieces on because I like them. All right, and that, let me punch another red balloon from my paper. Do I have a tiny piece of that red paper? I don't think I do. And because of the way this is, I don't think I need to punch an extra one. I think I can just pretty that up. Put this right here. I don't know where to put it though now. I think I want to stick it together. Make a little embellishment cluster, even though it's just the balloon. Let's put it right there. And maybe I will put that other sticker down here. This live for the moments you can't put into words. I think I'll put this on some foam squares. Actually, it's so big, I think I'm gonna use foam tape. Just because, you know, you guys know I like to have lots of, like to cover the back as much as I can. And the foam tape is just a better value when it comes to using a lot. So that if, you know, my albums, you know, are kind of thick, and this way it won't get squished. Sometimes I see really layered, elaborate, start to say exotic, but really layered, elaborate, beautiful layouts, like with, you know, foldings and flowers and stuff. And I've done some like that, but I just feel like once they've been squished in an album for a few years, they lose some of their luster. So we'll put this in right here. Oh yeah. And maybe I'll put these guys up on some little foam squares too. I think I do want squares for this one. And I probably want my tiny foam squares. I still have a bunch of these from before they changed the packaging. And they're just kind of a pain because they're so little. But that's what I need for this, is a bunch of little ones, because I need to fit between the gaps. And again, probably more than some people might use, but I just don't want them to get squished. And this has a little dimension. These little stars are raised up. I'll put this little half one in here. And one more right there. So yeah, that's a lot of foam squares, I admit it, but I want it to, I just don't want it to get squished down. All right. Do I need the little strings? I don't think I do. I kind of want to draw the little strings, but I think that would be too much. So I think we're done. As always, it took me longer than I expected it to take. And I'm not sure what part took me so long. I didn't take any breaks. I didn't spend a lot of time sitting and staring at the page. I think there's a lot going on. I did, when I was doing the journaling, I did come back and put some little dots and little spirally things just around this, just to make it a little bit more magical, because I liked that. But I'm happy. This is the feeling I want to have when I'm done with the layout. I want to be able to say, yeah, I love this layout. This is what I wanted. So there's the light off so you can see it without the pictures. Lots of journaling, lots of white space still, which is not really how I usually do this. I mean, I would probably have put this on a background paper, but I'm so glad that I didn't, because it gave me the opportunity to do lots of journaling. And I think that it makes the few little pieces of pattern paper really pop. And this was a great way to use up just the last remaining tidbits of my collection that I have. So my goal for the rest of this Magic Kingdom day in this album is going to be to use up all the rest of that Imagine That paper. So we'll see how I do at the end. So week 68, the end of January. Hallelujah, the longest January in this whole year. But a fun January because we got all that snow and that was fun. Have a great day and happy scrapbooking.